weird now that like it's gonna be weird without him around. Like I know he's not dead, but it's just kind of gonna be weird without this
No, it was something that was kind of guaranteed.
nemesis.
Past decade and a
Yeah,
half, you knew they were going
yeah.
to win 10 or 11 games, and he was going to be the anchor that what kept that program going forward, or the lead cow and what kept that thing going forward. So yeah, it will be different.
Um, if you're Kirby Smart, you're certainly happy about it. Okay.
Mm.
Anyways, moving on. Big news that it probably didn't make a lot of headlines, at least in our world. So Penn State and Playfly Sports Properties have entered a 15-year multimedia rights agreement. What that means for you, the fan, is Learfield, which is the primary carrier of advertising at Penn State, is going to leave the partnership with Penn State Athletics, and this Playfly organization is going to come in. What I think that means is I think this is Pat Kraft kind of putting his first stamp on how business is operated. Just because this is the first time he's probably had the opportunity with the way the contract is up. Um, what it really means for fans, I don't know. In theory, it's going to mean more money, hopefully, I guess, for the athletic department. At least that's why you partner with a new business opportunity. Um, the most recognizable way that fans interact with these two companies are, or that really that company is the voice of Steve Jones, Jack Ham, Brian Tripp, Dick Girardi. Those are really the biggest connection points that you might not even realize. So I'm interested to see what changes. Are there going to be more advertisements in the stadium? Are there going to be better advertisements in the stadium? There's a line on Playfly's website about naming rights for stadiums. Is that going to happen? I think I think we're going to see a little bit of a change in the ways you have to kind of sort of really look for. That's the biggest takeaway with this new partnership, um, at least in my opinion, that I've caught so far.
Yeah, I think fans who consume games, streaming or radio, probably aren't going to notice a huge difference next year. You'll hear the broadcasters talk about, oh, and thanks to whoever it is back in Jefferson City, right, which is where they produce the stuff for Learfield. Not going to be Jefferson City. It's going to be wherever Playfly is based. Um, so I don't think that stuff will change. I don't think the talent will change. I mean, the talent's contract is with Learfield and not the university. So, I mean, I guess it could, but I would be surprised if that changed
People would
unless,
be furious.
well, yeah, unless somebody got a better gig somewhere. I mean, the only one that could change would be Brian for some reason, but I don't see that changing.
No.
Um, I think what people will see, I think there'll be more stuff monetized. I do think you will see more content coming from athletics that will be an addendum or a premium. You've talked about Big Ten Plus through the years. I guess I would, an easy, and some of it's happening now with athletics themselves, and maybe more may have a Playfly, is podcasts coming out, video production. I think there's going to be stuff like that, activations around the stadium that, whether it's different or better than the farm stuff or whatever else we've talked about in the past. All those areas are places where the athletic department is looking to make revenue, and Playfly's deal is to help them make that revenue. So, or, find those areas where they can make more revenue. So I think there'll be more stuff like that some fans may notice, be like, oh, this wasn't here before, and now you're asking me for it, more for it, or this was free before. And Learfield did, I think part of their deal was ads even in the alumni in the Penn Stater. I think they kind of controlled that as part of the deal
Mm.
too, in terms of what was. So there's a lot of different tentacles in stadium advertising. Yeah, like I think if you're looking, there will be changes and maybe a decent number. I'm not in a bad way, but just more opportunities. This stuff's going to be. I would be shocked if there are more opportunities where stuff's being branded and sold to you, because that's the gig.
I think, you know, I don't think the sponsorships either are going to change, and we'll get to that. We have a note on that here in a second. But I don't know. I think I want to know why Penn State made this change. I really do, because that's what's itching in the back of my head. Because Penn State has been partnered with Learfield for how many years now? I don't know. It's certainly felt like a decent chunk of my lifetime. Do I hear Steve Jones going presented by Learfield Sports? And I I just wonder, like I said, I think this might be Pat Kraft's first crack at it. Let's see what new ways we can generate revenue. Um, I don't know. I
Depends.
don't mind it. Go ahead.
No, to Penn State's credit, no matter how the market has been shaped through the years, it has done a good job of being the leader. So Learfield, Penn State has been active in that, been a partner for probably 20, almost 30 years. Before that, Penn State was one of the last groups that did its own radio network and things. And there was a time in the late 80s, early 90s, a guy by the name of Dean Jordan cobbled together the network. The team was good in the late 80s, I think the 2 national championships. They had affiliates literally coast to coast, from like Boston to LA, radio stations that were picking up their stuff. And that's when stuff was in-house. And then it started going to these conglomerates like Kentucky and Louisville were held by like Host Communications was the group. And now they're one of the groups in it. Fox Sports has a group that does it. Playfly, Learfield. There's like 5 players, big players in this market stuff of people's rights now. So I don't think people will notice a big change. And I think that's probably the intent, but I think athletics intent is that they find a way to value what they have already and create different revenue streams, to support the athletic department.
I was just looking here, even in the Big Ten itself, some of these brands are involved. You've got Maryland and Nebraska, UCF does stuff, Michigan State, Auburn. So it's not like they're going with some Joe Schmo
Right.
company there.
And they got
I
Pennsylvania roots. There's somewhere in Southeast
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, some of their wonder offices
they're
anyway.
from Berwyn, it says in the press release. So I don't think it means a whole lot for fans right now. It's just something to keep your eyes out if it's something you pay attention to in the future. I think would be the best
Yeah,
way
because
to
it'll be
sum
July
that up.
1st or so when it hits. So yeah.